All right, and welcome back, everybody. This is Ranquist here, bringing you episode number 17 of the Bloxcentric Server. How is everybody doing? And I am doing fantastic, and I'd want to say a quick shout-out to everybody that commented out on my video for the last episode, episode number 16. No, I only got 3 more shots. You guys gave some great suggestions, and we're actually going to go over them today, but I've got a lot of things... Yes, I hit it. A lot of things that I want to go over. And so the first thing is I've gone through quite a bit of change, I guess mentally, when it comes to this series. And obviously, I'm really happy about it. I think everything's coming along. But I feel like I really need to step things up. And the biggest thing being is I feel like everything has been a little bit too simple. And I think my builds are great. I'm really happy with them, but I think the sign of a really good Minecraft player is somebody that is always looking to improve. And so I've taken the next step in terms of kind of working on my builds, and we're going to go through a couple things. And the biggest one is that exteriors are great. They're really important, but they're only 50% of the build. And in some cases, you can kind of get away with just working on exterior. But a lot of times, especially with things as intimate as your own home, you really need to work and add an interior that kind of fits and is really nice, you know, and it adds so much. And so we're going to start off with the villa. I spent probably a couple days working on this villa, really getting the interiors done. I need to get a half slab for that. And so let's look in here, and so yeah, I've used a lot of tips and tricks, and the first thing that I started doing, as you can see, is I eliminated all the torches, and that's really important. There's some torches that some places that torches work well in. Don't get me wrong. Hi, anybody out inside? Where are you? Where you is? I don't know. Maybe. Ah, hello. There you are. I don't want any Girl Scout cookies. So yes, I limited torches, and it kind of gives you a little bit more of a clean type of build. And so there technically is a torch right there, but people don't look up there. And so we've got some supports up here to hold up the walls. And as we can see, hello, look at my kitchen. It's very nice. And as if you remember correctly, before we just had 2 cauldrons. We had just 1 furnace and just some kind of wood stuff here, and I actually, I stepped in and I added this fireplace / oven section, and it adds so much character to this house. I mean, it breathes character, and it's amazing. It transformed this kitchen into from okay, whatever, it's not really needed, to hello, this is a home. And so I also added a little table, and the other biggest thing, as you can see, is I eliminated the slab floor. And I love slabs, don't get me wrong. I think they're a great block. But if you use them too much in the wrong type of setting, then you everything just kind of gets drowned out. And so the biggest thing is trying to find texture where, from flat surfaces. So as you can see, the big thing is, like, if you look at these blocks here, obviously they're flat, but the bricks, they have a bevel to them, that goes up and into the groove. And then the same thing with, the cobblestone. So this kind of looks like worn out from the original. And then I threw up some paintings. I've got this little sink, so we've got a little spout using a tripwire hook, which is really nice. And another thing that I did was I changed the countertops here to regular oak wood to kind of deviate from structural material to furnished material. And then the last thing in the kitchen wise that you need to I took a little bit of liberty as far as going with a little fridge here. Obviously in Roman times they didn't have fridges, but I put this door here, and it's actually facing the opposite way, and it's allowing for light to come through. So you've got this block, and I could put a regular piece of glowstone instead of using a lamp and the block, but for now that works. So yeah, so there is not a single place in the house that anything can spawn. Now in here we've got our storage room, which I changed the door up here, but I also added this shelving on the side, and I think that this really adds a lot into a storage room. If anybody's got not a lot of space where they need to just kind of fit chests, but they don't want to just have chests all over the place, then adding a shelving unit like this is really help. Hello, Wither Skull. So yeah, and honestly, I mean, it's still functional. I can get to everything I need really easy, and most of the time you're just kind of looking up at chests anyways. So I think that really adds quite a bit to this room. And then let's move on to the upstairs real quick. And yeah, so hello, we've got our bedroom, and this is the chair. Let me tell you, that started it all. And I went and I saw a video from BOO, and he went on to the A3's Ascended server, and I think he's gonna be doing some episodes from there. And so I wanted to check it out because the buildings on here were amazing. And so I went into the forums, and he was right. I mean, it's absolutely crazy what those people can do with Minecraft blocks. And so this is one of the things that I saw as far as interior goes. This chair it's so simple, yet it's so great. It's a high back chair, you know. And then as far as the desks go, I added two stairs upside down, and I put this bench in the middle, so now it's actually functional. I can come over, if I'm up here kind of running from the nighttime, I can come up here and build something that I need to do. And then the carpet just allows to kind of blend everything together, because obviously that does not look like that. So all in all, it's pretty nice. And again, more paintings. And so so from here, a lot of things are going to change. I'm going to really work on interiors for a lot of the buildings, especially the inn. The inn's probably going to get a big overhaul as well. And I've also been working on the exteriors for the Capitol building, because honestly, there's just too much solid wall. You know, too much of one color is not good. So I want to go over some of the suggestions from the last episode, and we're going to go in order from pretty much in order of as I got the comments. And so the most overwhelming comment that came up is the Roman bath. That's a really big thing, and in Roman culture they had local baths where people, nobles and people alike, would come in, and it's essentially a big socialization place. It's kind of like going to the spa at a YMCA or whatever. You get to hang out with people and do other things that shall not be named in a PG series. And so this location here, with the pond and this area, will actually be where the Roman bath is going to be. So to all of those, yeah, sure. That's another one. I need more. Hide it. We're gonna slowly or quickly put up a sign saying this is going to be where the Roman bath is going to be, so that you guys can, rest and behold. Done. All right, Roman bath. Boom. Hello. Here. Done. All right, another one. We're gonna go. Now this came from one of my subscribers, Mega Motor. He actually came up with 3 different suggestions. 2 of them I'm definitely going to do. The third one, we'll see. But the first one, which is actually going to be going in this spot right here, is a barbershop. And so we have a lot of different things that can go into a barbershop, which is really cool. Unfortunately, we don't have a mirror, but you don't really need one back in Roman times. We get shears, we can get dyes, and he said that Romans actually did used to dye their hair. So yeah, in this location right here, we're going to have a barbershop, which is very cool. It's something that definitely adds a lot of character, but it's not like a shop where, I can store things. And then this spot, I'm still not sure where we're going to put there. I'm still waiting some more suggestions. So any more, let me know. But, I've got more stuff that we can do. And now the other 2 suggestions that Mega Motor mentioned was a doctor's, and he also mentioned a brothel. And so, and he didn't use it as a brothel, or say it as a brothel, but that's essentially what he was suggesting. And I like the idea. I'm just not so sure that it's gonna fit. So worst comes to worst, we'll see. It may go in, it may not. But thank you for the suggestions. You'll definitely be getting a nice home in Renquestria. and you know, I'll message you with some details, and eventually once we get to residential stuff, and then who else? Yes, the Neural, and the Neural is obviously on the Bloxcentric server. I gave him a shout out last week, and so what he actually recommended, he gave a couple suggestions, but the biggest one that I wanted to talk about, which is going to be a little bit difficult to do considering, well, that's there, is he mentioned that most Roman cities had two main roads, the Cardo Maximus and the Decumanus Maximus. And so the Cardo Maximus went from north to south, straight through the city, all the way. And the Decumanus Maximus went east to west. So we're going to have something like that. This could actually be that. But unfortunately, it's a little tight, so it's not as big of a road as it could be. He also mentioned he wants to see monuments, and so I think that that's a really important thing. We're going to get eventually, once we get all the buildings situated, we're going to have a lot of space to put things. And so let's look at one of the areas here, like an area like this here, where you can't really put a shop or anything. We'll definitely have some sort of monument or statue. And one thing I did want to show is I have been working on redoing the side here, and let's just. Oh, this is my little hidey hole if I AFK and I want to just kind of look. So let's look at, so there is the building before, right? You know, straight stone walls, and this is what we're working on now. And you know, you really can't compare. And it's really nice to actually add some color into the sides instead of just straight gray, even with textures. You know, gray and white only go so far. So we've got some orange stained clay on the side here. And I've been reworking this window, and my consensus is that I think that I'm going to actually make this arch here a little bit bigger. So it's going to start, it's probably going to go up and over. So it's a little bit round. It's going to be a taller window, which will require some changes in the inside, but not too much. So overall, it should be good, and that'll give me a lot more room. Bloop, hello. That's another like on my 100 subscriber special. Thank you, whoever it is. I don't know. So yeah, that'll give me a little bit more room to add a nice topper window section here. And I've just filled it in with some regular glass. Eventually, you know, I'll look to see if I can get some stained glass in. So I've been playing around with some designs. But yeah, so that's definitely something that's really important, and that changing really came from the addition of this stuff here, because you know it'll look too simple. So I want to just, you know, fancy it up a little bit, and we'll see that in a little bit later. Anyways, so moving on, Coolissimo 96, and I know that he is actually on the unnamed server. He actually mentioned the biggest thing is military. The Romans were a big military nation, which is important. They conquered almost all of the known European world around the Mediterranean. And so that's kind of what I've been doing a lot. He actually mentioned it, and I'd started to work on it. And we actually have a little watchtower / barracks here, and it's a little bit, you know, it's mostly a watchtower. I'm actually gonna make a standalone barracks, as he mentioned, in a different location, but this, you know, I kind of needed to fill this space here, but I didn't want to chew too much into the hill, so I created this little, you know, home away from home. And you know, we've got some interiors, we've got some sections that we can hack away, shield, dodge roll, strafe. Which also, so we've got these little attacking pads here where you can attack, but these are upside down pistons, which allow for light to come through. So you know, no more torches on the sides here. Now there's a couple different sections. You know, there's definitely torches in here going up. The one thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to add some item frames inside to get the little torch holder, or the slab inside the item frame. So yeah, so that's going to come. That's the only section with the torches. And then we've got another oven, which really adds quite a bit. So this is going to be the kitchen, where you kind of prepare things. I need to add a cauldron, and I need to add, which let's and some regular work areas to get things ready. And so we actually have some iron. So let's get a cauldron. Put that there, and no, I don't want to do that. Another workbench. Put that there. and we will get that. So now we've got a little bit more preparation room. We've got, I don't need that. We've got, so yeah, we've got some room to prepare. We've got a little sink here. I can get a tripwire hook if I really want to make that a real sink. But yeah, so there's not much going on as far as things. Ooh, I can get, I forgot one more thing. So one thing that I did do, let's come over here real quick, and clusters. This is what I need to add as well. People put all their stuff in piles and boxes and stuff. So we've got 2 chests here that actually have armor built in. And I also use these droppers here. Now when you place them to face upwards, they kind of look like little barrels, right? So so inside we've got, I put some bows in here, and I've got some swords in there. So that's kind of one of the neat little tricks that I'm going to implement in a lot of areas. And so I'll probably put a dropper here and here, maybe put some food inside. And they're nice because barrels had a lot less space than say, you know, a chest. So it kind of fits the theme. And then inside here we've got a nice little sleeping quarters, and we've got eating quarters. The only thing that I have to do is I have to add carpet in here so that we can cover up that glowstone, and then that will be complete. So little stuff, nightstand, all that kind of stuff. All right, and then I could probably put maybe some paintings and whatnot, just to kind of fill the area a bit. And then let's actually go to the top here. I built a nice little spiral. We've got some windows to kind of look out. I'm not sure if I like the white, but for now it's going to stay because it's what I had in my inventory at the time when I was ripping down the those other windows. And so we've got a little archer's perch up here with another dropper. We can put some arrows in there. We can put some other stuff, and a bed so that they can stay up here on guard, on night duty. So yeah, and so we have a new place to set up our viewing perch, which is great. We originally had that little stone spiral up that kind of brought us to about this point anyways, and that's why I wanted to put this tower here so that we could still get this nice view of this central location. Now the funny thing about that spiral tower is a while back, I think between episode, oh no, oops, oh that works. Between episodes 3 and 4, we had a little issue with our server, and Drac actually had to use a different host because we were switching, and I didn't actually get the notice that the IP changed. So they were both running at one point in time, which I was like, why is there nobody on the server? Angry Canine. Yep, good. I always check. And it happened actually to be that I built the villa and a bunch of other, you know, the roads. I think that road came up to about here in the old version, which meant that all my data was not current. So in a rush to kind of get back to the same point, he came in here, gave me creative permissions, and I recreated the villa. I recreated this tree area here and that spiral little vantage point. The only thing is I actually made it out of the the cobblestone spawner egg thing. Yeah, for the silverfish. So when I went to start taking that thing down, I couldn't pick at it, and I was like, oh no, how are they silverfish? So they started coming out, and it was a pain. I had to break all like 15 of those blocks that were all silverfish. I had to kill them, which they in turn turned some other stone in the area to silverfish. It was a pain. It was funny. Unfortunately, I couldn't get that on video, but yeah. Anyway, so go figure. So yeah, so that is pretty much everything that I've done on the server. Oh yeah, we're going through suggestions. So yeah, that was Kalissimo's suggestion, was barracks, mess hall, and so that's the start of it. We're gonna get a lot more going on for sure. We're gonna go with Angry Canine and Mustalai. Yep, they talked about the bath. And then we've also got Mousix, who actually played with him on the Feed the Creeper server. He actually made a really good suggestion, and I haven't picked a location for it. I know that it's going to be over in this area because this is going to be our shopping district. But he said put up a glass shop. Excuse me. And that's really interesting because we're obviously going to be using glass. everywhere. And I know Romans didn't necessarily use glass windows. A lot of their glass was built in Alexandria, which I did some research on that, which is kind of cool. But they used it more for vessels, or in other words, pots and things to hold, wine and alcohol and different fluids in. Now, we don't have those options as far as in glass, but we are going to have a glass shop somewhere in here. So thank you, Mousix, for the comment and the suggestion. And then we also have Dro mentioned temples. We need to build some temples. And that's definitely... I haven't decided exactly where I want to do that. But there's going to be temples kind of throughout the build. And that's early Romans up until the Constantine era believed in essentially paganism, which, obviously they had a bunch of gods, kind of like the Greeks did. And a lot of times they were the same gods. They were just, different named. So God, we're definitely going to be adding temples. Where exactly, I'm not sure. But yeah, so let's keep moving on. Thank you for the suggestion, Dro. The second to last suggestion that was offered was from Daily Banana, and I think that we're going to end up placing it here. It's not 100% sure, even though it makes sense. We got monsters. Oh no! Die! Come on, fight me! Dang it! Well, there goes my tree farm. You try to make an episode, and they have to crash your party. They have to, of course. And, yeah, it's only 25% chance to spawn another zombie, of course. Yeah, I don't think so. Anyways, so in this area, he actually, he mentioned an amphitheater, and I think that's a really cool idea. And while I'm still debating on what I want to do for an arena, I probably will still do it. But he said that an amphitheater is a good choice for much tighter knit areas, because smaller towns still needed entertainment, and one of the reasons why the Romans got so big was they were able to appease their peoples by making them happy and entertaining them, kind of like in the Gladiator, right? It was filled with just regular people on top of nobles, but yeah, they were entertained. And so an amphitheater. Now, most amphitheaters were actually built into hillsides, which we have some locations that we can choose for it, and that was to help support the stairs, which were not the stairs, but the bench seating. So the amphitheater may go here. I don't think you know what? I'm thinking that it's not going to go here, just because we're going to have the harbor there. But the amphitheater is definitely something we're going to build. For now, the sign's going here because that's what we're going to think. Maybe it's going to go that direction. I don't know. But the last comment, and this one is kind of one that I'm really excited about. It's from John Andrew, and he actually talked about, and he's actually one of the new subscribers. He was not, in the top 5. I think he ended up joining late 80s. I think he made the push into the 90s possible. And he was talking about, building a harbor. And that's really important. And so we'd actually talked, we're going to build the harbor here. But some of the other comments he talked about were really interesting. So we're going to build trade posts and a dock here to be able to load and unload. But one other thing he said was, have some pirates or some battling going on in the distance or by the harbor. And that's really interesting because he mentioned having dueling ships, and the ship of choice in the Roman era was the trireme. And so the trireme, essentially, for those that don't know, they had a point in the end, a metal point, and they had decks of either slaves or sailors come in, and they would row and ram into each other. And they also had archers. Hello? No, I don't think so. Nighttime recording is difficult. So I think that having an arena or some sort of PvP zone where you have like dueling triremes and you can start on different ends and attack would be really, really cool. So thank you, John Andrew, for that suggestion. And we're actually going to make you a captain of one of the ships. So instead of having a home, you'll have a ship. So Captain John Andrew, thank you. And that is it for the suggestions. The suggestions are not over. You know, I'm not done taking them because we're gonna do this together. You know, one man can't build the city. So keep them coming. And we still have one of the areas up front to fill up. For locations. So any comments, let me know, and you'll get a shout out in the video. So thank you everybody that suggested. Thank you everybody that subscribed as of recent. I think my subscriber count as of right now is up to 103, which is sweet. Solidified my spot in the hundreds. And when we come back, we're gonna start working on some of the suggestions, possibly the barbershop from Mega Motor, which is pretty sweet because it's, you know, kind of up front. And then I know that the arena is being pushed up, so we're still going to be working in this front half here. I think I'm going to start working on the shopping area because that's going to do a lot for my item management, which I'm starting to fill up all of my chests. So we'll see what happens, but definitely the barbershop, and then some more general improvements. Ha! Dang it, my boots broke. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you had a good time, and so yeah, we will see you next time. Bye bye, folks.